So I'm going to play something that Manson said 4 years ago in an interview, and it caught my attention a couple of days ago. And I've been playing it in videos. I've sent it to people on Instagram because somebody sent it to me and said, "Oh my God, check it out." It's almost like he called it. He called it. And the journalist is asking him if he knew about Rose and Harvey Weinstein and what happened to Rose McGowan, which it was horrible, and it did happen, and that's why he's been persecuted, and he is guilty, and he is a criminal. Totally different story than Manson and Johnny. Harvey Weinstein, it's a criminal. So I have her book. I like Rose. I read the whole thing. So he's talking about that first, and then he starts talking about the Me Too movement, and then he says something very interesting about the way that you should manage these things and go about it, and in a way that don't go to the press, but just go to the police. And it's on his voice saying it. And 4 years ago, he was already, everything he said in there is what these girls did. They didn't go to the police. They went to the press. Not even press. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. He's also saying that he doesn't want to see a snowball effect, and every man is going to be bad. Every man is going to hurt you. Every guy is bad. That you cannot even give a gift to a girl or to a woman, or look at her like when she walks by because of sexual assault. He's saying all that right now, and I'm going to play it because it's very interesting that this guy has always been kind of ahead of his time with things, but this is kind of spooky that he called it. He called it right there, and I'm just gonna play it. I mean, I'm not gonna interrupt him.
Yeah, it's Harvey Weinstein, and of course, one of the most prominent alleged victims is one of your ex-partners, Rose McGowan. And an interview recently, Dita Martesh, your ex-wife, said she had heard rumours about this. Were you surprised by it?
I'm not surprised by it. I didn't really know much about it when I was with her. I just think that I don't want it to turn the whole world's attention from the artistic element of Hollywood and movies and films to be ruined by this, because it takes away from, when there's serious allegations, and there are always allegations, of course.
There are always going to be allegations.
It's when someone starts complaining about something that happened that seems a little bit not as serious as really sexual assault, because I think that's insulting to people that have been sexually assaulted. And it pisses me off that when someone says, "Oh, someone gave me an inappropriate gift" or something, that's not the same as being harmed. And I'm a very vengeful person, so I'm very protective of loved ones, especially in relationships. But I never really, that wasn't part of our relationship in the past, and I just don't want to see this turn Hollywood into something that takes away from films being made. And that's not to disrespect the people that are saying these allegations. I just think that if you have something to say, you should say it to the police, not to the press, and handle it that way first and foremost. And that's what I would do. But, the things that happened to me growing up as a kid is nothing that I'm going to talk about or complain about. I'm guilty as charged when it comes to writing a book and talking about my childhood. But I'm not trying to make it into a crazed thing where I can't turn on my phone every day without someone being accused of something. Now, maybe it's all men are bad, or all men can't do anything inappropriate. It makes you feel like you can't even say, I meet her and say, if I could look at her the wrong way, I'm going to be accused of something wrong. I think
this is 4 years ago. If I look at her the wrong way, I might be accused of something. He said right there, if it happens to me, I will go to the police. Don't go to the press, go to the police. It's amazing. It's sad. It's very sad that even then, he's had this. He saw it. He saw it coming. And maybe it didn't really destroy the movie industry like he thought it was going to. It didn't really. But right now with Johnny and this mess, and him and this mess, it's not movie industry, it's the entertainment industry that is going to be seen as something so dark. It is dark, but something like, oh, it's just full of rapists and full of bad men, and women they're victims and men they're wolves, and it's not like that. And if there are bad men, a lot, and there are bad women, a lot. Okay, and like he says right there's always going to be allegations. And I like that he said, I'm very protective of the people I love, and I'll be like the first one to, he said, I'm very revengeful. He said revengeful, and then he said protective. So I mean, you will think Rose McGowan, she was sexually assaulted and raped when she was in the festival, the film festival Cannes, by Harvey Weinstein, years before she was with Manson. If something like that happened to her, she is going to be with somebody who is going to trigger that. That happened to her. It's proven, and Harvey Weinstein never denied it. That happened to her. He's being persecuted for it. Cool. That's a crime. That is not an allegation. That's something that happened not only to her but all the actresses too. I think Elisa Milano and Gwyneth Paltrow and Ashley Judd, a bunch of girls from the same generation, and all those girls from these really big movies, these really awesome actresses that guy destroyed. He messed them up, and he assaulted almost all of them, and it was like 35 cases. It's just insanity, and that's awful. I mean, that's real. That's a real crime. That's real assault. Not, I went to somebody's house and he had a dark painting and he got a knife, a Nazi knife, remember, not a knife, and he got a knife and he was kind of cutting himself, and that's not that's not the hell that Rose wrote on her book, and that they probably confined on. So if she was raped, because she was, and then she was with somebody like him that was also a rapist, why should she be with somebody like him? If he's so dark and he's so perverse and morbid, and it's being with him is a nightmare, like this girl said, it's a nightmare. He sleep deprives you, he doesn't feed you, he has a very cold house, he isolates you from everybody, and he carves your leg and burns you and whip you with a whip. Then you're gonna be with that guy after you were raped by Harvey Weinstein. You're just gonna be, your next person is gonna be a rapist. No, I don't know why nobody put that two and two together. I mean, unless Rose is really sick in the head and she's just like being with these people that keep raping her, like why? No. If anything, she fall for him because he's so sensitive and probably trust him. In her book, she described him as a very shy, kind, sensitive guy who's always asking her how she was doing and taking attention to detail and making sure that she was doing okay. That's how she describes him in the book, period. And I'm going to believe what she said because everything that she's been saying is being true. So when somebody has a good reputation of truth, right? She accused Harvey Weinstein, she got it, it was true. So she's not accusing Manson. I'm not going to just get on, oh my God, well, dark paintings and black walls. I wish I had black walls. That'll be awesome to have maybe like 2 black walls. I have 4 bedrooms, so I don't want black walls everywhere. But I mean, like things like that are a matter of taste. And you can't judge people because of their taste, because of the lyrics, of the books they read, or the music they listen to. So we have to believe everything that pop stars and rock stars ever said, ever. We gotta believe that Ozzy wants to drink your blood and whatever. We gotta believe that Lady Gaga is bluffing with her muffin and she just killed her boyfriend in the music video Paparazzi. Lady Gaga killed her boyfriend, so we have to think Lady Gaga kills her boyfriends, right? See how stupid that is. Yeah. So well, I think he's innocent, and I'm not going to be sorry or feel less of a person or feel small by just saying that I think he's innocent, and I think John is innocent as well, and for really similar reasons. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. Those two are brothers. Not a coincidence that they're being accused, and just not even like, well, with Johnny's case, it's not even an accusation. It's just a case of a case of a case. UK, Virginia. I'm gonna talk about that after. I need to give Manson a rest. And there's nothing really new on these girls. The last one was Ashley Morgan, and she was on the cover of People's Magazine saying, "I survived a monster." Yeah, and talk about being cut with a Nazi knife and the black walls. Oh my God. I mean, it's like, what is wrong with having a black wall? And what's wrong with having, if you're a guy, right, and you're single, and you are Marilyn Manson or any type of rock star, you know, you could be Tommy Lee, you can be freaking like Axl Rose back in the day, was that type of dude, like girls, naked girls everywhere. Is that's not, I mean, yeah, that's kind of gross. You can do better, man. That's kind of gross, but it's not illegal, and it's his own apartment. And they're saying that he had black walls, dark paintings in the corner. His paintings are usually dark, so he's probably working on some paintings and he pushed them to the corner because he was moving furniture. Who knows? Dark paintings. Who are you to say that is a sign of anything? It's just a sign of somebody who was painting like 2 minutes before and just put them to a corner. Naked girls from Playboy magazine or Hustler magazine, pictures on the walls. Okay. The AC blasting cold. Man, I wish, because I'm always hot. I would love to have the AC cold all the time. Okay, proof of what? Cocaine. All right, he liked cocaine back in the day. What? Like I don't really. I need to see. I think all this community that we are on their side, Johnny and Manson, we need to see more. I need to see more statements and more emails. I need to see an email exchange from Esme to Manson or to Ashley to Manson, where Manson say, "Hey, come to LA. I'm gonna put you in a movie." I need to see that. I need to see messages from Ashley's mom saying, "Are you okay?" And Ashley saying, "No, I'm not okay. I'm incarcerated. I'm isolated. Please help me," or something. Ashley future boyfriends. There's a future boyfriend. Before, right after Manson, she was with this guy called Tom. He's on Instagram, and he did a really cool interview on YouTube talking about Ashley. And no, he never saw one a scar or anything on her body. And she says the Manson carved MM on her leg. And ex-fiance goes like, "No, I never seen that. He slept with her a bunch of times. They were engaged. He never saw that." She worked as a model and as a lingerie model for many years. How did she do that and nobody said, "Hey, you have somebody's initials carved on your leg"? No. Where is all that? Because that didn't happen. It's simple. It didn't happen. There's something about this whole thing. I keep saying the same thing, repeating myself like a freaking robot, but I really feel strongly about this. In the case of Amber, I have my own problems with her because of charity and the fact that she stole from a hospital that I have really good ties with. My daughter went to the hospital to have her surgery. I hate her just for that. Then based on that, everything after, I stopped listening to her, because when I knew that she didn't donate the money, my mind flipped, and I was like, oh, well, what else you lie about? If you can lie about something like that, you can lie about everything. And then I got into the Manson case, which is more of my, which is recent, and I can't believe that me just talking about it with my friends or on Instagram or whatever becomes something that everybody on YouTube is talking about, and it's great, and I love it. And I hope that people out there in the real world also talk about this, and they open the dialogue about, hey, you know, you can be a girl and be abused, but hey, you can be a boy and be abused, you know, and have this dialogue with your, I mean, not with your kids if they're too young, but with your brothers and your sisters, with your friends. If you feel that something is going on, say something. If you see something is going on, if you see a girl getting abused and you're just gonna stay there for the paycheck and you're gonna say something 11 years later, like, people need to have some type of decency when it comes to this. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can witness something like this happening and then just leave his apartment and don't say nothing for 11 years when you saw a woman on the floor almost dead or not responsive, and he was doing things to her body, and you just left. And it's really, a woman or a man, doesn't matter who it was. I mean, in this case it was a woman, but people need to start talking to their kids, their brothers and their sisters, their community about, there's many ways that we abuse people. And I say we because we all been guilty of doing it once, at least once or twice in your life. Saying something horrible and hurtful and verbally abusing, emotionally abusing somebody, and then the physical abuse, which is something that it doesn't, I mean, it's traumatizing for the rest of your life. You're gonna be traumatized, but the effects and the psyche are not such a long run as the emotional abuse. The emotional abuse that Johnny took from Amber, in the manipulation, in that, I mean, you know, that, okay, he lost a finger. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about she manipulated him. She messed with him when his mom was dying. She acted like a brat after his mom died. She didn't give the guy any space. She would get mad at him when he was reading books, and we know that Johnny likes books, right? And wouldn't let the guy even drink a little bit of wine. I mean, it's just really, like, there's a lot of ways to be abusive. Just because you're 5'2" and you're 100 pounds, you can still be abusive. So there's a lot of Amber Heards out there. And there's a lot of Johnnies. So there's a lot of Everett Woods and Esme Biancos, and there's a lot of Mansons out there that might not be famous, but people that happen to look the part. Just put in, you know, you have dark hair. Well, my hair is red now, but you got dark hair and you wear black and you have some type of thing to you that it just looks morbid or looks, you know, mysterious, or it looks kind of dark in a way. It don't mean that you're a criminal. It doesn't. We have to stop thinking like that. That is how people thought in England in the 1600s, and that's how people thought in America in the 1800s, when we were burning witches because we didn't like the way they look. We didn't like that a woman was my age and didn't have a husband, or the woman never had children, or you gotta be a witch, there's something wrong with you. A woman had a black cat, witch. A woman was an atheist, she didn't believe in God, witch. That's not something that happened 200 years ago, and we're supposed to evolve from all that and be better to ourselves and to each other, and not judge by the book and blah 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 blah, right? By the cover and all that. We're doing it. We're doing it with these guys because they happen to be famous, and these girls, I think they have an agenda, and it's not the Me Too agenda. I'm not gonna mix it. I don't agree that it's the Me Too agenda. It's something else. It's something else that Evan Roger Wood has been cooking on for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years. She's been cooking this up, and it's all related to how, you know, they get a badge for being bisexual. They go up at the park, and they're, you know, the women's march in LA, in downtown LA. Amber was there, and Amber was there. Evan was there. Nah, it's not a coincidence, but it's not really. It's a lot of bisexual people in LA. It's not like, I'm not gonna be so paranoid, like, oh my God, those two were there in the park. It's possible they were there. and they're giving speeches and about being bisexual. Like when did that become a thing? Because I remember when I was at the end of high school, right? I was like 17, and the book Sex from Madonna's book came out. Oh my God. And I'm straight. I'm still straight, right? But but I thought that opened my mind to so many things. You know who invented that, Amber? Madonna. Madonna did that before you did. She was putting bisexual girls on stage with her and gay guys together and with her at the same time, and really cool, awesome, artistic black and white music videos that have 2 guys and 2 girls and Madonna in there. She did that at the end of the 90s. So I don't know why we have to award Amber Heard and Everett Wood for being bisexual or being a single mom. Like, nobody's giving me an award. I'm a single mom. Where's my award? where's my badge? Where's my golden ticket? It's not something, it doesn't make you a better person. You can be a complete sociopath and be bisexual, and you can be a complete sociopath and be straight. It doesn't make you nothing. So this whole woke culture of being different is the cult of personality. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what it's called. It's your personality. Is your ID, your job. No, it should not be like that. Your personality is your personality. The way you look is the way you look. But with Manson and with Johnny, they're being target, and their easy scapegoat, just like Manson was in Columbine back then when that shooting happened. And Johnny's an easy target because of his drinking and because of has a bit of a darkness about him, and that's what probably makes him a great actor. That's why we like him. And he's different. He's eccentric and he's cool and he's different. He's an artist. He's not just an actor that goes and reads the lines and goes home. He's an artist, you know? Manson is the same thing. You might not like the music, but he's an artist. He does art. He doesn't just gas himself on stage and grow horns. He does art. You might not like it. You might think it's too loud. You might think it's kind of stupid. You might think it's kind of redundant. But just being crucified, or that's too dramatic, but I'm being dramatic just like Evan Richard Wood is crucified, just being crucified for just being different. Johnny's different, Manson is different, and then being you using your sexuality as a weapon. I'm bisexual, and what? Okay, and and then you're using your life experiences. I don't think this happened, but if this happened, you cannot use it as a weapon. You cannot become, we said this in school a couple of times in psychology. It's like when, you become your trauma. You become, that is the one thing, that's a one-way ticket to insanity. Into drug addiction, into mental hospitals. You cannot become your trauma. You can't. You have to analyze it, work with it, and then put it away. Go to the police, like Manson said, go to the police, do your therapy, do your groups, try to recover, and then you have to put it not behind, to the side. You cannot become your trauma. You can't become your trauma. It's not, well, my name is Evan Richard Wood and I was raped. That's not who you are. It cannot be who you are. I mean, if something happened like that to anybody, it sucks. It's freaking evil and it sucks. But it cannot become, it cannot define who you are. That's what I'm trying to say. So, on the same token, if Manson likes bondage and fetish and he likes drugs and Johnny likes wine, that cannot define them as people either. That doesn't make them bad people. So don't become your trauma. just get help, and just know that you can get abused, and you should be careful. Don't just get it, don't do the Manson thing. Manson is like, oh well, this is I give you a key to my house. Here, everybody, I'm gonna be passing out on the couch. You can all come in. And then you got people taking pictures of his house, stealing stuff, planting evidence. So don't do that. Don't do that. You know. And if it's a matter, the same with addictions. You cannot become your addiction. Like we always say this when I work with children, it's always like, I'm better than my behavior. Okay? I'm not my behavior. I'm a person. I have a soul and a brain, whatever, if you believe in God or not. I'm better than my behavior. My behavior, I might be a bully right now, and I might just like be a bully, and then in 10 years, I'm going to be on the street doing heroin because I was a bully and because nobody freaking helped me out, because nobody told me to stop, to knock it off, and nobody corrected my behavior. So you are better than your behavior. You are better than your trauma. If something horrible happened to you, you're better than what happened to you. And you cannot wear that as a crown of thorns like Jesus for the rest of your life. If this did happen to you, Evan, I don't think it did, but if it did, you cannot wear it as a crown and a cape and just be for the rest of your life known as this girl that got abused by this rock star, this girl that got abused by the actor from Pirates of the Caribbean, and you are the poster that my daughter, she's 9, but when she grows old, she gets older, I don't want her to think Amber Heard is a role model for domestic violence, or that Eva Rocha Wood or Esme Bianco are a role model against sexual assault. I don't want her to think like that. I'm gonna make sure she doesn't think like that. Then, right? But that's all I gotta say for tonight. Maybe I gotta say some more, but got agitated right there. Don't victimize yourself. You know, when the victim mentality becomes your weapon of choice. Like if I have a gun, I hate guns. Let's say I have a gun, right? I have a gun right there, and I use the gun on all the people. That is an obvious weapon, right? It's like you can touch it, you can smell the gun, you can touch a gun, the gun is gold, it smells like a gun. Right, but there's all the ways to weaponize things. You can weaponize sex, you can weaponize work, jobs, money. You can abuse people by not letting them go to work. You can abuse people by, it's called economical abuse. It's something so freaking horrible. It happened to me, happened to many people that I know. Somebody telling you like, you don't need to go to work. I mean, I take care of you, you don't need to. And you're like, okay, cool. Right. No, in the beginning it's okay, but that's called economical abuse. When you stop somebody from going to work for whatever reason. Oh, if you go to work today, I'm gonna kill myself. Whatever, like manipulation. Don't go to work because I don't want to be alone. You are abusing the person if you stop them from making money and you stop them from growing as a person. You abusing them. I think a lot of people don't know this. But they should. They don't teach you this in school. There's something called economical abuse. And that's what Amber was doing to Johnny. Because she wanted him all the time with her. To the point that I won't be surprised if there's a couple of roles and a couple of movies that he didn't actually make. And because of her. Because he couldn't leave her alone. Because she was going to freak out. Or because God knows what she's going to do. Or she's going to get mad at me. So I think that people do it all the time, not just famous people. So if you are in any of those type of situations, like Manson said on that clip, you go to the police. You don't go to the press. You don't go to the Instagram. You don't make a post. I see Facebook posts all the time of girls, usually girls or women, naming guys. They're, this guy that I went to school with, and he's been named. And I'm like, what the hell? Before you went to take a restraining order, before you went to the police station, you already naming the guy? Before you calling a social worker, call a social worker first. Dial 211, not 911, 211 if you're in America, and call welfare, social worker. They will send one to your house. Tell them what happened. Don't go on Facebook. Don't go on Facebook and say, Johnny Bellani was looking at me the wrong way at prom when we were 18. Like, seriously, and this is not, I'm not saying that I don't believe that stuff. I believe a lot of that stuff that I see online. I do. But at the same time, it's really hard. I'm not the lawyer and I'm not the judge. A judge is not going to believe it just because you posted on Facebook or on Instagram. So I think these girls are going to be in trouble. I think Amber is going to be investigated for perjury. I think Johnny's attorney said that she is going to be. I don't think she's going to go to jail. Thinking that this type of actors go to jail is very innocent. I don't think she's going to go to jail, but she might have to pay a chunk of money because perjury is a big deal. She might have to do some type of community service, but I don't think she's going to go to jail. But it's going to be very embarrassing. And I think Manson, in time, maybe 2022 or something, he should take these people for defamation case, because it. And please don't tell me, don't leave comments or like tell me things like, well, they don't need to work. It's okay if they get canceled. They don't need to work. They have all the money. That is classless and ignorant and really dumb to think like that. To think that because somebody has a lot of stuff, they don't need to keep doing what they love to do. They love to make movies. They love to make music, paintings. Johnny likes to make music too. They cannot just, oh, well, they don't do it anymore, because you say so, because you wanted to cancel them. So I think it's gonna, listen to people that goes like, well, I don't care if the fires burn Lady Gaga's house because she has all the money. No, don't think like that. That's very small. If you think like that, your brain might be like tiny, like a little dinosaur brain. Because you can't think like that. You can't think because somebody has something, they don't deserve the same things that you deserve. They don't deserve getting beat up. They don't deserve getting canceled. They don't deserve getting their catching house on fire like it happened in LA. A lot of celebrities have lost their houses, and people on Twitter saying, "Oh, who cares? They have all this money." Who cares? How can you think like that? You lost your house and everything in it. Your pictures, your memories with your grandparents, your parents, your children's toys, whatever. Like, it just seems stupid, but like, think, and it's the same to the people that go, oh, well, Manson, he can retire and not make one album the rest of his life and he's gonna be just fine. Him and his wife can move to an island and be happy. But that's not what it's about. Because then what they're doing is they're being bullies. Evan Richardwood, Esme Bianco, Ashley, Lovis Bailey, blah blah blah, all these people, they're bullying him to the point that he is hopefully not gonna do anything bad to himself. But it's bullying. It's women bullying. A man is still bullying. It's funny how people get confused with that. They're like, if a woman is doing something like that, you're like in the park and you see a girl screaming at her boyfriend and waving her hands around and screaming and be like, dude, blah, blah. People usually will think, oh, you're just having a bad day. This bitch is crazy. That's the most people will say. If a man or a guy or a boy or whatever, an old man, my son, 12 years old, if my son is in the park yelling at a girl, waving his arms around and yelling to her face, he's not going to get arrested, but he's going to get people who will be like, dude, what's your problem? And somebody's going to call the police. But if a woman does it, it's always, she's just hysterical, she's having a bad day. Well, you don't know what happens. That person might just go home and she might beat him up. Or cut his finger. No, I'm not laughing at them, but I'm just saying, like, don't believe everything you read. And if you want to do an experiment, do that. Go to a park with one of your friends and do it, and see what happens. This is not just me saying it. It's been proven, okay? And see how many people are going to actually stop and help you out. How many people are going to stop and help her out? And it's pretty insulting that actually men think, oh, well, she's just, she's having one of those days. She's on one of the days. And I mean, they could be sociopaths that have, you know, they're planning to kill their husbands when they get home. Oh, but no, she's just a bitch. Sometimes when, if you see, you know, like when they say if you see something, say something. They have that on the bus, on the train, in the freeway. If you see something, say something. That goes for everything. If you see something, say something. If you see if you see a woman yelling at some dude in the park, say something, and vice versa. And then maybe we can just make some type of change. But until we start opening our heads and not judge people by the way they look, or by if they're female or male, or if they're drug addicts or not, or they have an addiction problem, we need to stop that. Get my hands to this, I'm double jointed. we need to stop that, and don't become your trauma. Don't weaponize your victimhood. You're not a saint, Evan Richard Wood, all the Evan Richard Woods out there. You're not a saint. You're a cross. Stop it. Put it down. Because it's not a cross. It's just your fragments of your imagination mixed with some of the stuff that God knows what it is, and you are in such a high because people are telling you, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry. You got my support. I'm so sorry. It's a high. It's a rush. You're feeling great. Even if you lie. Like we know with Evan, people don't know yet that much, but with Amber, we all know. Even her friends know that she lied. Even half of her friends are like leaving her alone because they know that she lied. And she still just talked to TMZ and left the courthouse looking down with her bruise, whatever, this side. You know, in that first picture, it was what everybody saw. What everybody saw was a video of Johnny going around the kitchen and doing this with the cupboards, right? And some pots and pans and some whatever crap they have in there. Yeah, he seemed angry. He seemed pissed off. He seemed kind of maybe a little bit buzzed as well. He did not grab her, hit her. And we know what happens in that video at the end where she's laughing. And TMZ cut the end of that video. Everybody can watch that video on YouTube. Now we can watch it on YouTube, but when that thing came out, we could only watch it. TMZ decide they had control over what they cut and what they show. They cut the last part. In the last part, you can hear Amber going like, like, I got him. And it gave me goosebumps when I heard that the first time. When I saw the first time, I saw the ones that they want me to see. And I was like, oh my God, Johnny Depp is losing his mind. What the hell, man? Stop. That was my first reaction. And then when I saw the whole video, oh my God, I'm like, this is so wicked what she's doing to him. She's making him angry on purpose. And then she's pointing a camera out there. Not only that, but then when he really finally explodes and starts throwing stuff around in his own kitchen, he's not throwing anything at her. He's just opening the cupboards like that. That's it. And she got where she wanted it. She goes, I just can't. I mean, if you see that, and you still think that she's innocent, it's like there's something you gotta be studied. So yeah. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Okay, Evan, stop. Like Evan or all the Evans out there, just stop. Just don't post that Johnny Baloney did something to you 8 years ago and now you feel that you're kind of bored and you want attention. You posting this on Facebook. Talk to a social worker. Talk to your therapist. Go to the cops. Go to the school counselor. The schools are really good at that, actually, here in California, at least they are. Go to the school counselor, say, hey, this is happening to me. I mean, like, come on. And you go from there. And then when you feel okay about it, and when the legal part is resolved, then you can go on your Facebook and on your Instagram and say, well, you guys, I got something to tell you. But you need to cover your butt first with legal actions. if you don't have money for a lawyer, they'll give you one, trust me. But you can't just take it to the press, like he said on that video. Take it to the police first. School counselor, therapists, social workers, police, anybody but Instagram, because Instagram is not a police station. I've been saying that for like months already. It's getting old. Okay, and go.